complaints. Actually, they own 50% of the private student loan marketplace, so it's a behemoth, and it's really hard to compare it to other private student loan vendors as it's such a large company. But besides that, in Florida, we found that this loan vendor called AESPHEAA, the Pennsylvania Higher Education Assistance Authority, it's the second most complained about vendor. And they're actually a company that has purchased several student loan portfolios, and they act as a servicer for other private student loan vendors. So they're second, and then behind them is Wells Fargo. So.
And the types of complaints that people are entering into this government database are what kinds of complaints?
So the three complaints about that were entered into this student loan database were inability to pay, generally, so things like deferment or forbearance, things like that. Then loan payments in the end, and also just signing up for a loan in general. So those were the three categories.
There are alternatives to private lenders like government-backed student loans. Why would someone take out a private loan instead of a government loan, and what are the types of government loans that are available?
Yeah, so generally, and this is really good, but since working on this report and talking with a lot of different institutions, I've seen that colleges now are warning students about these things and saying, we really need, you guys should go look for federal aid first instead of private student loans. And I was really surprised by that, because in my experience going through college, they really push private student loans on you. So the alternatives are going to federal aid, and actually 54% of students sign on to private student loans when they're eligible for federal aid of some sort. And federal aid payments are way lower, the interest rates are way lower. Oftentimes they have loan forgiveness or deferment things, options like that private student loan companies do not offer. And we found in the database that a lot of students that complained, we found 4,300 around complaints about student loans from students. And in Florida, there were 255 specifically from students. And they were all pretty, angry students that had been misled. And things such as being told that their payment had been moved forward without being consulted about it. So it's a real issue.
Those are my only questions. Is there anything else that our listeners should know about this?
Yeah. So generally, I think the main message is that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is here to educate people and make it easier for people to see these sort of financial problems that institutions are pushing on people. And we want to make it more effective, so we think that it should be reorganized so that it is easily accessible. We want to reach out to as many people as possible so that more people know about it. In the South, not as many people filed complaints about it, and actually in the Northeast, it was the main region that filed the most complaints about student loans. So we definitely want to make sure that people know about it and use it, because it's meant to keep an eye on these financial institutions from taking advantage of people.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Sean.